Hello, in this video we're taking a look at why CBT doesn't work. I'm going to tell you what the two main reasons are, along with some examples from my years of work as a therapist, and some funny things from this awful CBT handbook, which will show you clearly from the words of CBT practitioners themselves why it fails. So let's get straight into this. Why doesn't CBT work? It's mainly because they focus on the wrong things in the wrong place. So what do I mean by the wrong things? Well, you need to understand that whatever your problem is, if it's anxiety, phobia, a fear of driving, whatever it is, doesn't matter, fear of flying, fear of public speaking, social anxiety, it's all rubbish. They're just symptoms. They're not the real problem. That's just how your real problem is showing itself. It's how it's triggering. As I always say in my videos, driving anxiety has nothing to do with driving, right? It's just a symptom. So when you go driving, you feel panicked. That is not what the problem really is. But what CBT does is it focuses purely on the symptoms. They talk about driving, and if you've been for CBT, you'll know it's something like this. They'll say things like, how do you feel when you drive? Well, I feel nervous. And what makes you nervous? Well, driving. So what makes you nervous when you drive? Well, I get nervous. And what makes you nervous? You go round and round and round in circles. You get nowhere. It's pointless. And this can go on for hours. Just look at these things you have to fill in for CBT. These boxes. All these boxes. How do you feel? I mean, what a load of rubbish. How do you feel at 5 to 6 a.m? Asleep? How do you feel 8 to 9 a.m? How do you feel at 9 to 10 a.m? And you have to fill in these boxes every hour of the day to say how you feel. What a load of rubbish. Thought boxes and diagrams, here you go, symptoms diagram. They even say themselves, symptoms diagram. So why are you working on the symptoms? You don't work on symptoms. The worry questionnaire, scores, fill in these charts. Look at all these things. There's pages and pages, scales. How often have you felt things were going your way from 0 to 4 in the last month? How often have you been able to control irritations in your life? This has got nothing to do with anything. And look at it. Do you really want to fill in all of that? What a load of rubbish. The symptoms are nothing to do with it. If you came to me with a fear of driving and you started talking about it, I would just politely say, oh, whoa, stop there. Don't need to tell me about that. If you want to say quickly, I've got a fear of driving, fine. We don't need to talk about that. And clients are often surprised and say, oh, okay. Then we get on with what will actually work. But you see, CBT would spend a whole course talking about the things that don't matter. They focus on what doesn't matter. And I know this because I've had dozens of people come to me who have said that they have been speaking about driving, cars, symptoms, how it feels. Nothing to do with it. So that's the first reason they work on the wrong things. And the second reason, they work in the wrong place. You see, CBT works in a conscious mind, which isn't where the problem is. Again, let's use driving anxiety as an example. If you go out driving and you suddenly get scared, it's not logical. You're not thinking, oh, I need to get scared, turn the scared on. Oh, I need to stop being scared, turn it off. It's not a conscious thing. If you've got any kind of anxiety, fear, phobia, or whatever, you know it's not conscious. It happens without you wanting it to because it's subconscious. So why do CBT practitioners waste your time talking consciously? What happens when you drive or get scared? And what's making you scared? Driving. So what happens when you drive or get scared? And what's making you scared? Driving. So what happens when you drive? I get scared. Round and round and round and round you go, dancing around the circle for months. You're not getting anywhere because that's conscious. What I would do is I use hypnosis. Now in hypnosis, you access your subconscious mind, and it's not as scary as people think. It isn't where people go into these funny trances and, they're not unconscious. I am under your control. I will do anything you say. Rubbish. Nothing like that. Hypnosis is something we all do all the time, every day. Breathing, walking, it all involves hypnosis. It's anything that's subconscious. When you breathe, you don't have to think, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, blink, open my eyes, breathe in, lift my left foot up, put it forward, breathe out, breathe in, lift my right foot up. You do things automatically. When I'm making this video, my hands are moving subconsciously. Why waste time in the conscious when that's not where the problem is? It's in the subconscious. So you see, CBT fails because you're working on symptoms in the conscious mind. You couldn't get it any more wrong. There's a funny video on the page on my website about why CBT doesn't work. It's hilarious, this video, and I'll link to it on the screen now, or at the end of this one or in the description. It's a house is burning down on fire, and a firefighter turns up, and he's firing the water in the complete opposite direction. So the house is on this side of the screen burning, and the water from this fire truck has been fired over here, and this house is burning, and somebody gets so mad, they get, I think it's a chair, and they throw this chair at the fireman, so now everyone's pointing, the fire's over there, the fire's over that way. And it's like a CBT practitioner that turned their back to the fire, right, let's fire over this way, let's fire at the conscious stuff and the symptoms. They haven't got a clue what they're doing. Wrong thing in the wrong place. I mean, look at this. I trained in CBT, unfortunately. It says on the cover of this book, CBT, an indispensable book for anyone experiencing emotional problems using the therapy that works. And if you just look in here, it's just absolute rubbish. Look at all this waffle and waffle and waffle, scaling people and asking people how they feel. And the one line here, making sense of your problem. It teaches you how to make conscious sense of someone's problem. What a load of absolute rubbish. This is not how you do it. I mean, start by thinking of a recent incident. Put your thoughts, I'm not even going to read it. It's rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. CBT will fail, I'd say 99% of the time, for 99% of problems, because it's logical and it works on symptoms. There's a lot more I could say about this, but I'm going to keep this video relatively short. But if you want to do something that works, you need to take something like hypnotherapy. And yes, there are other things that work. I use things like NLP, which is simply hypnosis without the traditional trance. You don't have to go into a trance. I've helped many people who had no trance whatsoever, although actually a bit of a secret they have. They just didn't know it. You see, when people say to me, oh, CBT worked for me, do you know why that was? Because without knowing it, you did hypnosis. The practitioners of CBT will say, oh no, I don't use hypnosis. You do. You just don't realise you're doing it. And that's the big difference. You see, I've watched CBT sessions and it's hilarious. You can tell the client is going into a trance. Now, it's not like people think. It isn't about eyes shut, going into this weird state. Sometimes I can see the CBT practitioner's client is in a trance. But the CBT practitioner doesn't even know this. They can't spot it because they don't know what hypnosis is. They think it's the classic, close your eyes, you're going sleepy, relax, 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 rubbish. They don't know what it is. And the client's gone into hypnosis and the client's found the solution to the problem, fixed it, and then, oh, CBT works, CBT did it. No, it didn't. That was a hypnosis that did it. The The CBT practitioner didn't even notice, that the client didn't even notice, and they go skipping off down the road promoting CBT when it didn't do anything. It was the hypnosis they didn't spot that did it. As the saying goes, the trance does the dance. Check out these other videos of mine on the screen now for more help with anxiety. And if you'd like to work with me one-to-one online from anywhere in the world, contact me through my website, firstdrive.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.